You ever walk into a factory or onto a construction site and see a bunch of signs and warnings? Ever wonder who's making sure those warnings aren't just ignored? That's where the work permit receiver comes in. This is a job about safety first, last, and always. A work permit receiver is the person who makes sure that any work done in a potentially dangerous place is done by the book. They're the ones who receive the official work permit, and it's their job to make sure every single thing on that permit is followed to the letter. Think of it like this: the work permit is like a recipe for staying safe on a job. It lists all the ingredients for safety. Things like what safety gear to wear, what tools to use, and how to use them without getting hurt. The work permit receiver is like the head chef, making sure everyone in that kitchen is following the recipe exactly. They're not cutting corners, they're not guessing, and they're definitely not taking any risks. Now, you might think that sounds like a whole lot of paperwork and not a lot of action, and you'd be right, there's definitely paperwork involved. But trust me, this job is anything but boring. It's about being a leader, a communicator, and most importantly, a guardian of safety. It's about making sure everyone goes home safe at the end of the day. So, what does a day in the life of a work permit receiver look like? Well, it starts with that work permit. They're the ones who get it first, and they go over every single detail with a fine-tooth comb. They check that the right people signed off on it, that the work being done is clearly described, and that all the potential hazards are identified. Next up, they head out to the work site. This isn't just a quick walkthrough, they're inspecting everything, making sure the work area is prepped and ready to go according to the permit. Are the fire extinguishers charged? Is the safety equipment in place? Is everyone wearing their PPE? These are the kinds of questions a work permit receiver is constantly asking. Once the work starts, the work permit receiver doesn't just clock out. They keep a close eye on everything, making sure the workers are following the safety procedures outlined in the permit. They're also there to answer any questions and address any concerns that come up. They're the go-to person for anything and everything safety related. And when the work is done, their job isn't over. They make sure the work site is cleaned up properly, all the tools are accounted for, and the permit is closed out correctly. Now, you can't just walk in off the street and expect to land a job as a work permit receiver. This is a position that requires a specific set of skills and qualifications. First and foremost, you need to be a stickler for safety. You can't be afraid to speak up when you see something that's not right, and you need to be able to enforce the rules, even when it's not the popular thing to do. You also need to be a good communicator. You'll be dealing with people from all walks of life, from the workers on the ground to the bigwigs in the office. Being able to communicate clearly and effectively is essential. Of course, you'll also need the right training. This will vary depending on the industry and the specific job, but generally, you'll need to be certified in safety management and have a thorough understanding of the permit-to-work system. So why is the role of a work permit receiver so important? The answer is simple: lives depend on it. These folks are the last line of defense between a job done right and a potential disaster. They're the ones who make sure that safety isn't just a word on a page, but a reality on the ground. They're the unsung heroes of the workplace, and their dedication to safety makes a world of difference.